So I'm going to show you my outfit of today. So this is, I'm trying to show you that a lot of times women get bigger and they wear these big long things that don't show off their waist at all. And I don't know why they do that.
Well, they're getting some verticals because they don't usually close it up. So you get two verticals here.
I guess. But it really doesn't work very well.
Well.
But anyway, I wanted to show you another thing about this outfit. So this one, you can see a little bit of tummy here. And the way it's set up, it does have the stripes going down like this. But see, it's shorter here. So it kind of makes me look a bit shorter that way. And plus this, you know, being around here, it's I don't know. What do you think about that, James?
Marilyn Monroe used to have something a little bit like that. I don't worry about it.
And plus, I mean, the going down this way, I don't know, what do you think it does for my bosom at, you know, half a century old?
Yeah, a lot of women half a century or even younger feel jealous. So you're worrying a little bit too much.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, I still feel glad that I fit into it today, and I guess I'll show you the dinner. So James is having baked yam with some sour cream and onion and pepper minced up there, and some strawberry milkshake, and maybe he'll eat some of those other things. I'm having a spirulina hemp strawberry shake. So with unsweetened.
Now, what sort of hemp? That's hemp seed?
It's hemp protein powder.
Hemp protein.
So it's
you were talking about that today when we were on the walk.
So I don't have to worry about all the fat from it. I just get protein, which is kind of awesome. And you might have looked at the stack and went, and you already talked about this. Well, yeah, this is the volume 5 with the finale. I just wanted to show where Arrested Development season 4 fit into it. I would say it's in the middle. What would you say? I really liked the finale.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It had its faults, but most TV shows do, and this one's better than by far most of the TV shows out there. I mean, they had to write the classic 2 double show ending for that they have for popular long-running shows. They brought back Grissom. They brought back Catherine. Did they bring back anyone else? Anyway, they had to write everyone in. Ted Danson didn't have much to do in the last thing. You know,
maybe that's for the best.
Well, they were, of course.
So, anyway, I brought these out again because, like I was mentioning yesterday, I watched this one and then the finale, and both had mentioned, what do you call it? CCD. What does it stand for again?
Well, just give me a clue.
The bees.
The bees?
Yeah, the
colony
collapse disorder.
Colony collapse disorder.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So both of them had mentioned it, which I was like, that's just my life. You know, that's just, things seem so crazy, the coincidences
this one
in
this
my
one?
dated, in all.
Well, we saw
in my
3 things.
day-to-day
so
life,
yeah.
Things seem so, it's like, there can't be coincidences like this, and yet they're in my life all the time, and I think this is very strange. This must be either my life, this isn't real, or somebody's trying to give me a message, like, and I'm supposed to be paying attention to this, or something like that, right? Because it just comes my way. So, watch this, and then we had been watching Arrested Development, and we put on the first episode we played after watching these, we went in after doing the deck dinner, and we stuck this on, and what comes up? CCD again, and James is like, whoa, that's, you were just talking about that or whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, yep, 3 for 3, and that's what we got today, or, well, yesterday was talk about that. So, we will talk about Arrested Development a bit, because the first disc, we weren't, well, I mean, we're enjoying it. Of course, there's some great actors in here with...
It's stunning how many good people they've got in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just Bateman and Sarah, frankly. But then the guy who plays his dad...
Whose dad? The Bateman's dad?
Yeah.
The guy who looks Jewish and not very European, but everyone knows, of course, to hear left-wing.
And you're right, the brother-in-law, he's great too, isn't he? So
now, which brother-in-law is that?
The one with the mustache and glasses that everyone thinks
Oh,
is gay.
my Cross, I think his name is. That what it is?
I don't.
He is awesome.
Tobias?
Yeah, exactly right. He's one of the great comic.
He's very funny.
Yeah, I feel bad laughing at him because he's as bald as a bat, and he's short. And of course, it's traditional to laugh at folks like that. But he's supplemented with like a '70s style mustache and '70s style sideburns and stuff like that. So the thing that really is funny is just he seems irrepressible. Like something comes along, like someone says something, or there's some sort of news that should just bring him down, and all of a sudden he'll break out into a smile. He's putting on the most positive interpretation on things, just irrepressible. A great comic character.
So, when we left off yesterday, we were talking about CSI, the finale, and which we both enjoyed. I mean, it had its problems, but whatever. We enjoyed it. Now, specifically, when we left off, James was talking about the issue with the wife of a man who was assumed to be a terrorist because he blew up himself with, a vest in a casino and took out a bunch of people with him.
Turns out he had a gambling problem.
Yeah. But James was saying, and this was my initial interpretation of the show too, he was saying that it's typical left-wing sort of baloney sort of stuff.
Well, it's propaganda.
Yeah. But later on in the show, after all of that, Sarah Seidel apologized for the loss of the woman's husband and all this sort of stuff, and you're like, but what else would she do? Honestly, in that position, I don't know that I would do any differently. I think I would apologize for the loss of the woman's husband. I'd be like, maybe you're right. I shouldn't have been so hasty or whatever, because you have to keep up some sort of polite, well, I would think polite rapport with people. I know the police don't always tend to do that, but
don't expect the
CSI
police to hold your hand and be nice and friendly.
So
they're not.
You might expect better from a CSI person. I don't know. Anyway, so later on in the show, the person who has sent the people out to do the explosive stuff, that person comments that they didn't even have to give anything to the man to make him do that. So he wasn't under the influence of anything to get him to do that. So as much as I did share James's view of what they were trying to say with the episode, until that point, I didn't afterwards. So once it got to that point where the guy said, I didn't have to give that guy anything. So he wanted to go do it, right? Then I thought, wait, CSI is saying something completely different. And they didn't say it was because he was Islamic terrorist or anything. But honestly, I don't think they had to. You know, they were saying it was because he, like the guy who had sent him out was saying, well, he lost so much money with that casino that's why he did it. But that's his interpretation. I mean, if you think back to what happened, he had seen the picture of the woman's children, and somehow convinced her to come over with him so that she would be one of the casualties. Why? Why would he have done that? If it was just that he was going after the casino, why blow up a woman who had children? Who was just, you know, a lowly sort of salesperson there or whatever. Why? So at the end of the episode, I disagreed with James's analysis of it. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, they pointed out that they consulted some sort of Muslim women's freedom, whatever thing. Now maybe they were covering their hindquarters with it. I don't know, with that sort of thing.
Yep. So, Arrested Development, Season 4. And we will talk about this a little bit later, too, because we haven't gotten all the way through it. Yep. But, the second disc, like, if you're thinking, gee, this is not quite as funny as I'd hoped it would be or whatever in the first disc, hang in there. The second disc, wow. The one...
it is better.
Yeah. The one... my favorite so far, and I think James would agree, the favorite part was when Michael Bluth, that's Bateman's character, Michael Bluth has run into his sister, she's undercover, right? She's pretending she's somebody else and wearing a wig. So he's run into her, and they're hugging each other and trying to discuss, you know, privately while hugging, you know, what they're going to say to the other people they're with. And then they sit down in his girlfriend asks a question, well, where did you guys meet? And they didn't have an answer, so they got up and they started hugging again. And then they decided, after all the hugging, oh, we just met. And that's absolutely ridiculous, right? It's like the worst answer that they could have given, because it makes no sense.
Was that the one where we just exploded
Yes.
after the scene?
Yes. So,
No. Describing it just doesn't do it justice.
no, it doesn't. So, like, I could have given a spoiler alert, but honestly, when you see it, tears will come to your eyes. You'll be laughing so hard. I can't possibly describe how funny this was. So, I can't ruin it. It's impossible to. And there were so many funny things in this that James and I, we both agree that the eldest brother, who's a magician, he's a terrible actor.
I don't know where he comes from, but he's not that good.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that he reminds me of someone that Pauline and I used to work with, an aggressive propagandist type. You probably know who I'm talking
I do
about.
know.
Yep. Yep. And I think he's that way in real life. He's not really playing a character that far.
Yeah. So, I don't know, There's some acting that's not great, but there's a lot of talent here. So
Well, it's stunning. There's Kirsten Wiig.
yeah,
There's
Seth
Bateman.
Rogen showed up. There's other people that showed up for this that weren't in the original. Like this comes several years after the last season of it. I don't know. I guess they just decided, oh, they should bring it up again. And honestly, they could keep bringing this back. It's
Michael,
so good.
Yeah, Michael Cera's good. The Cross guy is good. A cast of thousands, really. The writing problem sometimes is they concentrate too much on one character.
Well, that's the problem I had with this one.
Yeah.
It's their arrested development of this character, and it's like, okay, well, that works out really well when you're focusing on Michael, because, well, he's awesome. Or when you're...
Now, is that the Bateman character?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is... I really think, now, looking
might
at
be
him,
the
he's
best
the
straight-
best straight
Exactly.
person,
Straight comic ever.
person ever. Because you can see him, instead of like roll his
I
eyes.
agree.
Sometimes he does, but he's trying to maintain the classic straight man. No affect look, but little things creep through, like, like he might scratch his neck, which is a sign of irritation, stuff like that. But he'll just do, it's just wee little things. He's very good at doing these wee little things that show reaction instead of over the top, like the Chief or Barbara Feldman reacting to Get Smart, Maxwell Smart. What were we watching? Well, so often in comedy on TV, the reaction of straight people is someone saying something stupid is, what? Like, who was bad for that? Seinfeld. The woman who played in Seinfeld? She'd always be overreacting to, who were the stupid characters in that?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She was always over the top.
Over the top. She's one of the worst for doing that. Yeah. I'm not saying she's the worst actor or something like that, but just not cast well, I suppose, for the part. I'm not sure what it is. But Bateman, they should have been using him like for all these weird characters that are around him. Right? But, now, Michael Cera, I think, is it Michael? Whatever, Cera. He's a good, because he's more like a young person doing, like, why is reality this way? I'm afraid he'll always seem like an adolescent or something like that. Yeah. But he's got this face, he just looks adolescent. And when you're an adolescent, it just reminds you when you were young, like a teenager, you're going,
he's so sweet in this.
Why is this? Why are these adults behaving in this crazy fashion? Yeah. So they've got the two guys, but they're not using them enough.
Well, that's the way this season is set up. Mm-hmm. So it focuses in on one character for which the writing is great for tying this all together. So you focus in on one character for one episode and then another for another, but they're all working at the same time, right? So then you end up going, this is what ended up happening with whatever. And I love that, but the problem is when not all of the actors are great. And so when you're focusing in on one character, and it's the eldest brother magician guy, it's like, whoa, that episode is gonna not
it's gonna drag.
Yeah,
it's gonna drag.
So
I don't know exactly what's wrong. I think sometimes he's just over the top. I think it's to a large extent, I just don't like his character, and I probably wouldn't like him in real life. But they've got guys like that bald guy that they bring out. He's tough talking guy. He was in The Office. They'd bring him out. Is his name Rob Corddry or something like that? He was just in the back one time, like.
There was the guy off. They brought him in to be a candidate. It was from that comedy show with the police. What's it called?
It was a comedy show.
Yeah,
Okay. And he's a candidate in this show?
in this show, but in the other one, he's a police officer, and it's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Is that right? The comedy
Doesn't
show that
ring a bell.
he
Yeah.
was in? Well,
Okay.
anyway, he's great.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great people that they've brought in that aren't from the family, too.
Jim
But
from The Office had a little cameo role.
oh, that's right. Yeah, he was in here too.
Yeah.
So lots and lots.
Yeah.
And I could see why everyone would want to have a cameo in
Ed
this.
Helms was in it.
He
I think he
was.
ended up, spoiler alert, getting killed, but
I don't remember.
you know, I used to underrate him when I saw him in The Office, but he's, you know, again, a lot of his stuff is straight man stuff. You know, he has a different kind of thing, like, you know, like oftentimes he'll pull in his jaw, which is a sign of resistance, right?
Hmm.
I was just noticing it. Of course, he's great in The Hangover because all these horrible things are happening to him, you know, and he's,
Yeah.
you know.
So I don't know. I highly recommend this, and I'm going to enjoy watching the rest of it for sure. So let's see what we have here. 7 and so minutes. So yeah, I guess I wanted to talk about clothing and how, you know, it's nice to, once you get, because I'm a weight I should be at, and I should be, when I'm wearing clothes, I should feel pretty good about it. And I feel pretty good about this maybe not so much, but honestly, I think these big long sweater things, they can work if they have, if they're maybe like a crocheted where you can sort of see through them a little bit or whatever. That might work better.
They're almost like dusters, eh?
But
You'll
yeah.
see,
But when they're solid like this, and plus, I mean, white isn't thinning, so
right now,
white.
you kind. I was noticing when we were walking, you kind of look too thin. So
Well, I'm
Okay.
fine right now wearing it.
anyway, you've been kind of doing a little bit of archaeology, excavating stuff that you'd put away, and maybe that you'd never be able to use the clothing again. Now it's
I know.
happening. That's good.
And now I'm able to wear stuff.
Yeah.
That made me a little bit cold drinking that again. But anyway, honestly, I couldn't tell you if the strawberries help with that or not, because
With this,
yeah, because spirulina,
it certainly doesn't
This
show
powder.
up in the look,
No.
unlike here.
no, because the hemp protein powder is green and then the spirulina is green. But honestly, that spirulina stuff is pretty sweet. So I don't know that the strawberries helped at all. So
Yeah.
I might have just enjoyed eating strawberries more than drinking them. But today I'm drinking all of my protein, so we'll see how this goes. So far I had a lovely smoothie in the morning and a lovely one now, and lots and lots of exercise today.
Yeah, we did Cottonwood. That's going down to the river bottom. There's a lot of exercise. It's 300 feet down, and up is the main thing, and it's very steep at Cottonwood coming out. But you kind of exercise going down because you're having to put on the brakes. It's that steep. It's basically pretty well the limit of what I like doing in the mountains. Anything more than that's too steep. It's slippery. I can fall.
All right. Well, anything you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't know. How about, I was mentioning the Super Bowl.
Mm.
You know, like
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yep.
So I was listening to it actually on the radio. They don't do play-by-play.
Hmm.
They just have a guy saying, he'd be talking about this, that, and the other thing. Oh, he's tracking it while he's doing his radio show. And I think he was the one that was saying about a week ago, oh, it's all about quarterbacking nowadays. And the score was, a typical score in football nowadays is like 20-20 or something like that. The score after 3 quarters was maybe 12-0 or something like that. It was just really boring football. Just all field goals, not touchdowns. And it wasn't about the quarterbacking, so on and so forth. So much for his stupid theory about it all being about quarterbacking. And I don't know if he was the one. He was making fun of Canadian football. There was another guy making fun of Canadian football. Canadian football has actually had a positive influence on American football. Canadian Football League, CFL, a while back, maybe a generation ago, expanded in the United States, and that really got them their knickers, as English say, in a knot. Because Canadian Football League gets shorter huddles. So they didn't get the short huddles, or huddles as short as they are in the Canadian Football League, but they made them shorter in the NFL. NFL, you wouldn't believe the boring literature I've read, poetry, The Fairy Queen by Edmund Spencer. I'd read a whole stanza, and those are fairly long stanzas, during a huddle. Wham! I worked my way through the whole of The Fairy Queen watching American football. And a variety of other things, you know, just that was back in the day when I used to watch football. Now I don't subject volume to the football, but I will listen to it on the radio and stuff like that. And it's not a broadcast, it's just some stupid talk show host announcing every so occasion what's happening during the game and so on and so forth. But Canadian football, the other thing is, it's just recently, maybe the last 10 years, maybe a little bit longer, American, the National Football League has discovered African American quarterbacks. They did discover Warren Moon sometime in the 80s, and he set all sorts of records. But they say it was incredible. The Army had someone was saying recently, has anyone ever been able to throw a football farther than Warren Moon? But he was more of a, he could run, but he was a stand in the pocket kind of guy, slinging the ball downfield. But, you know, I mentioned American recently. The Canadians discovered African American quarterbacks as long ago as 1973. Not making it up. I might be off by 1 year. I think it was a guy called Chuck Ely who was quarterback for my least favorite team back then, probably still in the CFL, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and they won the Grey Cup. That's the equivalent of Canada's Super Bowl. He helped win it back in 1973, and it took 40 years for the Americans to discover the advantage